So when I first got into real estate, I'll never forget, my instructor said, shut your eyes right now. You've finished your real estate school, you just passed your exam. Now open them. You're a real estate agent, and who are you gonna sell? Well, the problem with real estate is after you sell your friends, the people that you know in your neighborhood, the people that already know, like, and trust you, at some point you have to transition into actually selling a stranger. And the question is where are you gonna find them? Where are you gonna find the person that's gonna be your next transaction? And after that one, where are you gonna find the next one and the next one in order to produce enough transactions to stay in this business? That's what plagues most new agents, and a lot of agents that have been in the business a long time still struggle with having predictability. And I think it all comes down to lead generation. The real question that you have to ask yourself is, do I have a lead generation strategy? Well, yesterday, a partner of mine reached out to me and said, Michael, I have a question for you. Where should I be focusing on lead generation? And I thought, that makes such a great topic, because after I gave him the answer, it was instinctive. It's like I've given this answer to so many people, but yet I've not actually put the answer out here on YouTube. And so for today, we're gonna answer that question for all you real estate agents that feel like you have overwhelm. You don't know really where to start when it comes to lead generation. This video is gonna give you the framework for thinking through the process of knowing where to start. What's going on, everybody? I'm Michael Reese, a digital marketing expert, an agent and a real estate coach, and I teach realtors, team leaders, and brokers how to grow and scale their real estate businesses through digital marketing and content creation. If you want proven strategies that can actually help you get more leads, close more deals, or scale your real estate team, then you're gonna love this video, so keep watching and make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I put out new content every week that would help you turn strangers into clients and build a business that works harder for you than you do for it. So one of the biggest problems you're gonna have to solve early on is lead generation. In order for you to move from stage 1 to stage 2 of the business, you have to really learn your sales skills and your lead generation skills. And lead generation is simply, how do you find people that you can reach out to and turn into a potential client? Well, there's a lot of different things you need to consider when you're doing lead generation. And one of the things is I wanna point out is the answer isn't gonna be the same for everybody. If you're in a situation and you get into real estate and you have a budget, and somebody else gets into real estate and they don't, then the person who has a marketing budget has options available to them that the other person simply doesn't have, because they don't have the money to invest at that particular time. So in order to make this video impactful for everybody, what I'm gonna do is kind of go through some of the low cost, no cost, shoestring budget things. I'm gonna talk to you about some of the frameworks and myths and some of the misconceptions, and then we're gonna roll right into what I think the best lead generation is. So first of all, let's break this down. Lead generation is simply the act of identifying somebody who is potentially a client for yourself. So whether it's a buyer or a seller, it's your ability to identify those people. And you can either invest money trying to identify them, or you can identify the ones that have already pre-identified themselves. Or said differently, you can actually target people that have already identified themselves because of previous behavior, and you can invest your time trying to convert them. And what that means is this. So if you're spending money trying to get people to raise their hand and say, hey, I'm looking to sell my house, it's a lot easier to go to a list of people who currently have their home listed for sell by owner. They've already identified themselves as wanting to sell their house. And expired has usually identified themselves. Not 100% of expireds are going to relist with a different agent, but there is a subset of those homeowners that's homes expired are currently trying to sell their home on their own, that are open to talking and interviewing an agent, are going to interview an agent once they put their home back on the market. And the real question is, are those leads or not? Those are great leads. Those are people that are in your real estate market that need your professional service. Now, the problem is that most agents are not skillfully trained, and based upon their own mindset, they don't want to reach out to a stranger, and they don't want to do it because they don't really know what to say. So if you're going to do lead generation and you're going to invest your time, then you really have to invest your time developing your skills, your phone skills. You have to learn your marketing skills through the word of mouth. You have to have a structured word of mouth marketing program. And by the way, there's a book by Ivan Meisner, which is a structured word of mouth marketing program I recommend every new agent to read, because it's your ability to articulate your value. If you're gonna do lead generation on the phone with an expired, do you have a cancellation guarantee? Do you have any sort of guarantee? Do you have a value proposition? Do you have a guaranteed home sale, an express offer? If you do, how does that program work? What would you say to an expired who is gonna relist their home that asks you the questions? Well, Tell me what makes you different. You see, great marketing, whether you have time or money to invest, any lead generation needs to start with answering that question, what makes you different? Because here's the reason. A lead that calls you and knows who you are versus somebody that you prospect is two different types of leads. And I think that's where people in their mind, they say, well, these are bad leads. Well, they're not bad leads. They're just not been qualified. They've not been marketed to. Good lead is somebody who in the future puts their home on the market. Now, if they didn't choose you, that's because you have bad marketing. It's not that that wasn't a good lead. It's that you didn't have the skills, you didn't have the resources in order to either first, A, identify that person, or two, to get that person to raise their hand and reach out to you on your program, on what made you different. So when somebody tells me, Michael, what lead generation should I do? I say, first and foremost, what resources do we have? What's our value proposition? And what market are we trying to target? I need to know that. If you have no resources and no value proposition, then we're gonna have to do prospecting, outbound demand gen, chasing people down. And in order to do that effectively, we're gonna have to spend a little bit of time sharpening the axe, which is coming up with the chops or skills to articulate our value over the phone in a way that would get somebody to actually set an appointment with us. And that's the problem in real estate, is most people get into real estate by default. And when they get into real estate, they don't have the resources that allow them to do the other more advanced lead generation strategies that they would actually qualify as great leads. And I want to emphasize a very amazing agent that I had a conversation with yesterday that literally said, and I'm not going to use his market because I don't want to single anybody out, but it's probably one of the biggest markets in North America. And the agent said to me, I'm going to insert a pretend market. We'll just use Atlanta, the fourth largest market in the United States. But the agent said to me, well, do you think social media work in Atlanta? Now, the problem with this agent is they had been successful before, but they had been successful with pay per click. So like all success can be boiled down to a fundamental principle. And the problem with this gentleman is he didn't understand the principles that currently govern success. When he got into real estate in 2002, there was no Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. And so the things that he currently perceives as not working anymore are actually working. The newspaper that he would once run ads in is now the news feed. And here's what I want to point out to you about lead generation, is that if you're going to move into paid lead generation, then now you have a choice on where to start. Do you want buyers versus sellers? Do you want people that are in town or out of town? Do you want people who are further into the process or further out of the process? When a buyer is looking to buy a home, there's several steps in that process that they go through, and based upon where you find them, if you're marketing an actual house being open, an open house, which you can market an open house, and I've been able to help agents generate as many as 55 leads prior to an open house even being performed through intentional marketing. But those are people that want to come see a home. Those are people that are ready to get in their car. They're looking completely different than somebody who might be out of town looking to come visit, who don't have the convenience of driving by an open house this Saturday. So the question is in lead generation, and going back to this individual, the question is social media will work in any market. You have two types of social media marketing. You have paid and you have organic. Organic is usually going to take you a little bit longer than paid. So if you don't have a lot of time and you have money to invest, you're going to want to start with paid social media. Paid social media, here's the word, ads. And ads are simply offers put into the marketplace. You're gonna put offers into the marketplace, but if you don't have compelling offers, not only are you not gonna be able to articulate why someone should do business with you over the phone, if you called an expired, or if you called a for sale by owner, if you circle prospect a neighborhood, anything that's going to get somebody over the phone through the spoken word will usually work in the written word. And that's why when you start in real estate, starting over the phone helps you go through the process of iterating on your marketing message on what someone needs to consider when choosing you versus somebody else. And once you really learn how to move and influence or persuade somebody over the phone, it gives you the resources, it gives you the recipe, if you will, the fundamental building block to build a compelling marketing message. If you want to grow your business, you have to make more offers. When you're new, you can make those offers at an open house, you can make those offers over the phone, or you can make those offers through marketing where you're putting those offers in front of people and impressing on them over time with the hopes that those offers are compelling enough to get them to reach out to you. So the real question is not what lead generation strategy should I use? The real question is, if you're going to go after a prospect, it's what audience am I going after? What is my differentiated value proposition, offer, social proof, guarantee? What is my risk reversal? It's getting all of those things identified on the front end so that when you're on the phone, if you have a love it or leave it program with the home buyer, that if they buy a home from you in 18 months, they don't like it for any reason at all, they can leave it. But the asterisk is, by going with the love it or leave it program, they have to actually buy another home of equal or greater value in the same area and use you as a real estate agent and also use you to sell the current home. Then now you have a program. If you have a program that you can articulate to somebody on why they should use you when they buy their next home, you can now potentially compel them. When you can compel somebody to use you, you can now invest money into marketing to get people in front of you so that you can speak to them. So again, lead generation, what you should do is you should find out what is gonna work best for you by asking yourself, what is my budget? Do I have a budget? If I don't have a budget, then you need to invest in prospecting, because all you now have is your time to invest. And to get a good return on your time, you want to invest your time using the right systems, the right tools, getting leverage, the right scripts, all of the things that govern success when you're prospecting over the phone. If you're going to invest money in lead generation online, then you got to ask yourself, what is the cash conversion cycle? Am I going to run my ad on Google? Am I going to run my ad on Facebook? A lead on Google versus Facebook has a conversion rate based upon my experience of 161 days versus 4.5 days on average to set an appointment. Those are the things that you need to know if you're going to do lead generation, because if you invest money in lead generation on Facebook and you call the lead and they're not ready to do something today and your script doesn't end with, well, do you plan on making a move in the next 12 months? If you don't have a nurture process, if you're not putting out content to stay top of mind so you can get them to come back to you and be predisposed to do business with you, to look at you like a subject matter expert in the future, you don't have a strategy. And here's the best part. I want to share with you some of the best strategies for lead generation working right now, today, in today's market. I recently shot a video and I've updated it many times. I've actually updated it almost every 45 days with the most up-to-date numbers of what's working now in the most competitive market across the United States. And these are funnels. And here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you the opportunity to go take a free class. It's a free class on you identifying if you want to generate clients and you want to do it profitably. Then I'm gonna give you the opportunity to take the class on demand. All you gotta do is go to listingclass.com, and when you go there, there'll be a video, a very short video. I think we walk you through 3 or 4 of the funnels. We show you all of the metrics, what's converting, when and how, what the ads look like, what the copy is, where we ran them, if we've retargeted them, what the retargeting, if we've used proof, everything you need to know in order to swipe and deploy in your business. So if that sounds like something that you'd be interested in, make sure you head on over to listingclass.com, or better yet, I'll put a link down into the description and you can head over there by just clicking the link in the description, watching the video. And at the end of that, if you would like help doing any of this, any of it, setting up a marketing and sales funnel, creating a value proposition, listing presentation, buyer presentation, white papers, tear sheets, pre-counseling interviews, buyer's advantage programs, any of those types of things. If you would like to use all of the things that I've created over the years in my business with me and my business partner, well, the great thing is at the end of that video, we're gonna show you how you can get access to all of that stuff for free. And if that's something you're interested in, then go to listingclass.com, take the class. If it makes sense, set up a call with me personally. I'd love to jump on a call and help really determine where you're at and where you're trying to go, and if it makes sense of us trying to help you get there. And if it does, we'd love the opportunity to help you. And if it doesn't, there's no harm, no foul. You'll learn a lot along the way, and you can take everything you learn and apply it in your business. I promise it will work. It's worked in almost every market we've deployed it in. So with that being said, when somebody asks, hey, what lead generation should I do? The real question that they need to be asking themselves is, what do I have to invest? Do I have the right systems? Do I have the right tools? And more importantly, do I have the right value proposition? 50% of your success is your ability to articulate your durable competitive advantage, why someone should do business with you over all alternatives. And if you don't have that dialed in for both buyers and sellers, you want to win before you start, go ahead and hit pause. Don't try to pull the trigger. Let's hit the target. Let's get it done. Let's get it done right. Let's get our value proposition in place. And if you want help doing that, well, there's a link either here are here to a video that I did around value propositions, and again, I'll put it in the description below. Thanks so much, and if you haven't hit that subscribe button and you like this video, if it got you thinking, listen, some of the top agents in the world that I've helped, they did it on their own. All I did has help them think a little bit differently. And if you don't have everything you want, it's simply you haven't learned something yet. So if you want to learn more, if you want to learn about growing your business, then go ahead and make sure you not only tap subscribe, but if you like this video, hit like and turn on notifications, because we put out new content just like this every single week, and you'll be notified when it comes out. We'll see you at the top or from the top.